Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate it very much, and I want to thank all of you for your testimony today. Very informative. There are reasonable proposals on and off the bills. Again, off the list of bills being considered today and in the future. However, I'm concerned by the unintended consequences that will arise if Congress decided to legislate. In other words, decides to legislate on privacy and data security in multiple bills without establishing a comprehensive framework. Ms. Rich, question for you. Can you elaborate on any potential consequences that businesses and our constituents may face as a result of enacting several individual one-off bills on privacy as opposed to one comprehensive bill? I know you touched on it. If you could elaborate, I'd really appreciate it very much.
Right now, it's a highly confusing environment for both businesses and consumers. There's so many sectoral laws that pertain to privacy, to technology, to many related issues, and no one really knows what the rules are. So one of the chief benefits of enacting a comprehensive privacy law, which could include many of the issues we've talked about today, is to bring it all together. Even if certain laws, it's not going to repeal all the sectoral laws. It's not going to roll back, everything that people are dealing with now, but it could bring it together and create a comprehensive enforcement scheme. And so that's one of the reasons, getting rid of that confusion, bringing greater clarity to the marketplace, that it's so vital that we pass that kind of law.
Thank you so much. Next question, it ultimately will be for Mr. Lane, but I do have some comments first. In addition to privacy and data security, one central theme to today's conversation is a big tech accountability platform that particular act is sponsored by Leader Rogers, and we released it earlier this year. One issue that is very near to my constituents is the growing rise of illegal activity, like the scale of deadly fentanyl products that are plaguing social media platforms. In fact, I was able to question the DEA about this issue just last week, and I'm holding a roundtable in my particular district in Florida, the 12th Congressional District of Florida in the Tampa Bay area, to discuss the fentanyl crisis with local leaders and law enforcement. We're doing that on Monday at noon. To curb the tide of this activity, I also authored draft legislation that would direct the GAO to conduct a study on how online platforms can better work with law enforcement to address illegal content and crimes on their platforms. So the question is for Mr. Lane. What do you believe, Mr. Lane, is important for us to consider as part of this particular discussion?
Well, as you know, I've been working with families who have had children die from fentanyl poisoning, and it's a very sad situation that we're facing. I do believe that working with the FDA and others are taking some important steps. There's a lot of groups out there that are focusing on this. But two things that have to occur. One, I know the groups have asked expressly to have an open and accessible and accurate WHOIS database, because that's how they're finding websites that are engaged in selling these drugs. And right now it's dark, and the FDA itself has asked for an open, accessible, and accurate WHOIS database. So that's a very important step in moving forward. The other important step is that everyone talks about how these social network sites are rabbit holes. Rabbit holes were in 1996 when you had bulletin board services and you had to find the rabbit hole. These social networking sites are more like black holes. They have a gravitational force of sucking people in to the darkness, and it's very hard for them to see the light again. And those are the issues that we have to address. What are the algorithms? How are these black hole social networking sites that are sucking these young people in and exposing them to drugs that maybe they would never had access to? And how do we stop that?
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I want to discuss that even further with you, but appreciate your response. One last question. During the Senate Commerce Committee nomination of D.G. Son and Alan Davidson, Both nominees discussed the harms that are occurring regarding the misuse of consumer personal information and ultimately expressed support for passing a comprehensive privacy bill. I think this highlights how important it is for Congress to pass a national law on privacy and data security. To the entire panel, a yes or no answer would be fine. Would you support this committee passing a comprehensive national privacy and data security bill that sets one national standard, provides new rights to consumers, and sets clear guidelines for business to comply? Again, a yes or no. Ms. Rich, please. I know what your answer is going to be.
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Garland, please.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Lane, please.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Marshall, Dr. Marshall, excuse me.
Yes, but it must be a strong standard, and it must with appropriate enforcement
Thank you.
mechanisms.
Mr. Ahmad?
Yes.
Okay. And Mr. Greenblatt?
Yes, but I'd want more information.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, and I yield back, Madam Chair. Thanks for the extra time.
Absolutely. I would say yes also.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, but I knew your answer as well.
Yeah, absolutely.